Okay, this is real life Orgo for group 34, focusing on glow in the dark plastics. Okay, so a bit of history about glow in the dark. The first phosphor was synthesized using barium sulfate, which was heated by coal by Vincenzo Casacariolo in 1603, which glowed blue at night and was restored or recharged when it was exposed to sunlight. He believed it was a step in turning coal into gold. In 1866, the first stable phosphor produced was zinc oxide heated in hydrogen sulfate, and the first commercially available phosphor was Balmain's paint in 1870, which contained calcium sulfate. In 1887, it was learned that sulfides need small quantities of an activating agent to achieve luminescence. Luminol was the first used in 1928 and was the first chemiluminescent chemical widely available. So when we think about uses of glow-in-the-dark plastics, a lot of us jump to some kind of kid's bedroom with glow-in-the-dark stickers on the top and a ceiling, but really, there's all different kinds of uses for it that we'll dive into. So the first historically recorded major use in the home and in general of glow-in-the-dark plastics was on clocks and old old phones that were used, and it was radium on clocks was used rather than the techniques we're going to get into about how they glow in the dark. And it was applied by hand with paintbrushes onto usually would be very early PVC plastics, and occasionally even this compound known as bakelite, which is a type of PVC. And it would use the radium to give it the light, but then there was also a lot of you hear about radium girls. There's a lot of negative health effects from the application of radium onto it, and chances are the woman pictured in the photo applying the radium to the clock it died very painfully from cancers, etc., from exposure to radium in the coating of this. Another use for glow in the dark plastic is with polyteryl PET plastic being used for tape, which you'll see always on like floors of airplanes, floors of buses, usually used to guide you along. And another thing that they use to guide you is polypropylene, glow in the dark plastic signs that you'll see at movie theaters, airports. My high school even had these in case there was a power outage, all over the place. Just they're in general glow in the dark signs so that you can see where you're going in the event that there's a power loss or an exit. Even at movie theaters, sometimes we don't want to have a lit sign, but you want to have it marked and have it in compliance. Another cool use is with the trunk release, and it's very important because in 2002 they mandated that there be an emergency trunk release in your car, and with the use of the glow in the dark polypropylene handle, you'll be able to see, because when a trunk is shut, you're basically gonna have to feel around for it, and air is precious and time is precious if you're trapped in there and you're suffocating, or you're, I don't know, God forbid, you're being kidnapped. It's very helpful to have that glow in the dark handle right there so that you can grab and then you can pull to release the handle, and the glow in the dark is an added bonus to help you find it. And my personal favorite, and I think is a very cool use, is glow in the dark polypropylene rope, which you can buy all over the place. Harbor Freight sells it, and it's all over the internet. And it's the fibers are embedded with the glow in the dark compounds, and it allows the rope to glow in the dark at night. And one very important use for this is if you're at a campsite or you're somewhere where you have something hanging or you have stakes in the ground and you need to go out to either use the bathroom or do something at night. You don't want to trip, get injured, get hurt, get clotheslined by this rope. And because it glows in the dark, it's an added layer of safety that you will be able to go and see it at night. Even if you're doing a rescue or getting somewhere from the water, you'll be able to see at night where the rope is without having a light on you. So one up and coming use being researched at Kitchener University with the application of glow in the dark plastics is how they can be applied to OLED TVs to help reduce the energy consumption and allow for more natural light feel to it. And one of the big obstacles that they're currently researching is how they can make it so that it can absorb the broad spectrum light like sunlight and ambient light in a room, and then convert that to the specific RGB colors that are used to produce the image on the television. And it's very interesting and exciting because it would make both energy efficient TVs and make OLED, which in and of itself is very visually realistic, and it's very cool to have such a nice picture, an even better picture, and make it a higher quality display, and just like actually get the stadium experience at a game, or make your video games just that more realistic. Okay, so now we get more into the chemistry of it. Inorganic phosphors, which are part of how it glows, usually consist of a host material, either an oxide, a nitride, oxynitride, silicate, sulfide, selenide, halide, or oxohalide, and have a small amount of an activating metal, like a rare earth or transition metal ions. The activator ion acts as an emission or luminescence centers and possess energy levels that can be populated by direct excitation or indirectly by energy transfer. And that's according to Sigma Aldrich. And phosphors have three different characteristics: the type of energy that is required to energize them, the color of light that they emit, and the persistence. The persistence can be defined as the duration that they continue to glow. So zinc sulfide is one of the most commonly used phosphorus for glow-in-the-dark plastic. Zinc sulfide has a valence shell of electrons and a conduction shell because it is a semiconductor. In its unexcited state, the electrons are in the valence shell. When exposed to the light, the electrons are excited and move to the conduction shell. Over time, the zinc sulfide molecules release photons to return to their unexcited state. The photons being released are what causes the glow-in-the-dark phosphorescence. In creating glow-in-the-dark products, zinc sulfide, a material which absorbs and emits energy, is combined with a particular phosphor which converts the emitted energy into visible light. Although depending on the phosphor used, it can glow any color green. It is the most common. This is because 1, the human eye is more sensitive to green light, and 2, the phosphor used to create the green glow is more affordable, and 3, other colors require specific wavelengths to charge them. Green can be charged in the daylight or by phosphorescent light. While phosphorescence is used pretty much in all glow-in-the-dark plastics, the concept of converting energy to light is not isolated just to these products. There are many different ways energy can be converted into light. In nature, biochemical reactions in different organisms release light from their own bodies. Additionally, even sound can be converted into light energy. Here is our first page of references. Here's continued references. And here are our links to all the images used throughout this presentation. Thank you for watching.